Yes, I know it's July, but what better time of year to celebrate the holidays than now, right? Yes, I know. I am so far behind on taking a look at Holiday Optimus Prime. This was a figure that I got at the... I can't remember if I got this figure in at the very tail end of 2022 or at the very beginning of 2023. All I know is it did not arrive soon enough to qualify for my end of the year top 10 list. So, yeah. And the reason I haven't made a video on this thing until now is because, as you may have seen, I actually ran into the problem of having duplicate forearm backs on my original copy of this figure. And all things considered, like this is actually my original figure. What happened was I got sick of dealing with the two arms being the same thing because it meant that the truck mode just wasn't right, didn't sit together properly. And I actually really like this figure, so I didn't want to get rid of it. So instead, I bought a slightly under MSRP copy off of eBay and just swapped one of the arms. Not even the arm panel, I just popped the arm off the mushroom peg and popped the other arm in its place. And then I got the Reprolabels set, as you could probably tell, because the trailer actually looks like something now. And it's just been a process, you know. Like, I really wanted to get the Reprolabel set for this guy, but I didn't want to get the Reprolabels until I had a proper functioning figure. I didn't want to buy an entirely new one and run the risk of getting one that had the same problem. So I waited until I spotted one on eBay where I actually got to see the back of the figure and could see that it had the right arms and swapped them out. And then I put on the Reprolabels. And yeah, this figure is amazing. All that preamble out of the way, this figure is amazing. I have said on many occasions that I find Optimus Prime kind of boring, but as a character. But he often has excellent toys, which is why I really like the Nemesis Prime versions. This, though, I'm willing to make one of those rare exceptions for, because one, I don't think they're ever going to do a Nemesis Krampus or something like that. It'd be cool if they did, but I don't think they will. But two, this mold is excellent. And that's really kind of a surprise, because when we were first being shown like the renders of this guy and like the product shots, I thought this was just a retool of Legacy Menasor or Legacy Motormaster, which it definitely is not. This is in no way a retool of Motormaster. This is its own thing, and this mold is really interesting and does some really cool stuff, but I also really like how it's a different Optimus Prime. It's not just the standard G1 style Prime. Instead, it's this holiday themed truck with like the red and white, and it's hard to tell if the red and white up here, like here I'm sure it's just the patterning, but like here it's kind of like, is this the actual paint job on the truck, or is it actually covered in snow? And that's why it looks like that. It's a cool effect. And with the Reprolabels, it really sets this whole thing off. Not that I think it's required, but like, I already really love the mold, but I absolutely adore this figure, this set with the Reprolabels. It just enhances it so well. Like, as you can see, you've got the nice scripty Happy Holidays along the side of the trailer with the mistletoe and all the little kind of golden filigree along the bottom there, which incidentally, this is not one sticker. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, it's just a line of multiple stickers because it goes across all of these breaks and around the hinges. So that was a pain in the butt to apply. But then around the back, you also get some brake lights and a little caution stripe thing, and of course you get the Happy Holidays and stuff along the side there too. And the Autobot logo with the Santa hat, I love that, by the way. That actually came tampographed on the trailer. And these red lines, these like candy cane stripes, were also on the trailer. But like, all of this Happy Holidays stuff and all of this stuff along the bottom. That's all stickers. We'll see more when we open up the trailer and look at the accessories proper. But yeah, I really love what the Reprolabels add to this. This trailer I do not care about particularly because it's just the Earthrise Optimus Prime trailer with this little attachment here. And the reason it has that little attachment is so that it brings the little peg for plugging into the hitch further back and also lowers it. So it now plugs in here rather than here. And if we take this off, because it just sits over that peg, it doesn't really like solidly, not like stuck in place or anything like that. But if we get this out of the way and plug this in to the back of the trailer, you can see that like it sits in, but it sits way far back and it just doesn't look quite right. And it also kind of sits at a slightly downward angle because of everything. So I'm just gonna put that back on. But yeah, this is just Earthrise Prime's trailer with this little attachment. Like mold-wise, it is just Earthrise Prime's trailer. Obviously, it's a different color and all that, but we'll be taking a look at that a little bit more later. The cab is, I like that it's like a more of a long nose style truck cab and not the flat nose G1 style cab. But it's not the extreme long nose that we got from like the live action movies. And again, I love the design of this thing. I like the white and red being used to imply like snow all over it. It is unfortunate that you've got the off-center Happy Holidays where they decided to break it up, whereas in the official artwork, it's actually more centered along this visor section up here. That is a disappointment. And unfortunately, the Reprolabels set does not do anything to address this. And it's also weird, as I'm looking at it now, I can kind of see, it's hard to tell, but the Happy Holidays thing is actually, oh wait, no, there is, okay, I was noticing there's like this little divot right around here, but it's there on the other side too. The Y just kind of goes up into it, so never mind. But yeah, I wish that the Reprolabels set had some stickers to go over here to change how that's set in the center. It doesn't destroy it for me, but it does kind of stink, because it would have been nice if it was symmetrical, like more symmetrically centered, like they showed in the official artwork. But oh well. And yeah, it's a pretty basic trailer other than that, but I do like what the Reprolabels add, because originally these the windows, they are clear plastic going like here and around the front and here, but it's like this weird green color, which we'll see when we get to robot mode and we open up the matrix chamber, because of course he has a matrix chamber. But I really like this because you get this nice shiny metallic-y green with this little implication of like snow built up around the windows, so it hides that green plastic while also kind of adding to the idea of it snowing. You get some side mirror stickers there. You get this little bit on the back here as well to add to that idea that it might be snowing. And you get headlight stickers. And then, of course, more of the gold detailing along the side there, which just adds to that holiday feel. And it's a really nice little truck. I like how this all comes together, and the stickers just really help to set it off, like I said. There's even some nice detailing, like some nice molded detailing in the back with the wires and stuff running down. It's a neat truck. And on the underside, you can see some of the robot stuff, which we will see more when we get to the actual robot mode. But yeah, I just like this. And this is the thing where this arm on the original arm was wrong and couldn't sit like this properly. It would either kind of push down and out, or I would have to flip it around 180 degrees, and it just still didn't quite sit right because of the peg hole. So yeah, swapping that around was definitely definitely helped. It's a neat truck cab. And for the sake of size comparisons, I'm just gonna do this, because I don't want to try and get my size comparisons around the entire truck with cab. That just seems like it'd be a little ridiculous. So bring in our usual trio, or I guess it's a quad. So we've got Artfire and Rotor Storm and Burnout and Samus. And it's more or less the same size as Earthrise Prime, counting the trailer and the cab, more or less. You can see that the cab by itself is bigger than Burnout, but it's a lot of like flat stuff going on back here with the bulk right up here, so it's not as evenly distributed. Makes it a little bit harder to kind of match it all up, but that's how all of that works out. These fellows out of the way. And for one more size comparison that I feel like is a little bit more relevant, here is Velocitron's Scourge. And this, I think, trailer out of the way, at least temporarily. This, I think, is a better indicator of how the trailer is a little bit more slim. As you can see, Scourge is she's a little bit longer, just in terms, like, it's pretty much just the feet that are a little bit longer, but like the cab section itself is bigger and chunkier. But I don't know, there's just some really interesting stuff that happens with this guy. I mean, this Scourge's transformation, the Legacy Prime's transformation in general that her engineering is based on, is great. I love the way that this thing transforms, but this thing is I want to say it's something special in terms of its transformation, which we will get into in a moment. We just have one more quick size comparison to do. There he is with the duck tank. All right, here we go. Actually, before we transform this, which is the real meat and potatoes of this whole thing, let's take a quick let's take a look at the inside of the trailer. So I'm gonna pop this off, and here is the gun, which I like how if you store it here, it kind of looks like just a little bit of extra detailing, or possibly like a refrigeration unit or something attached to the side of the trailer. But pops out and unfolds to make this little candy cane coated ion blaster, and this is kind of fun. I like how the Reprolabels add stuff like I actually can't read that from here. Till all are one? No, it doesn't say that. Yeah, I'm not going to try to read that. But then there's this one. There's the coal dispenser. The coal dispenser 2000, I believe. Because my eyes are not great. And I'm wearing my glasses too. Anyway, I like how it just kind of plays off the decal, the ion blaster, and also it adds these little bits on the side which make it look like there's a canister in back that's just filled with coals, so it actually does, legit shoot coal. That's really funny. I like that a lot. And the trailer, as you saw, there's a little hitch that you can fold up and down. Just gonna tuck that up and open up the trailer, and oh, look at this. This is one of those sweater ornaments that were really popular last year, I think. They were all over Target, and they actually do fit some Transformers figures. I have it stored in here because, holidays. So basically my plan is around late November or so, I'm going to be taking the trailer out of storage and put it on the shelf with Holiday Prime and also the sweater. Find someone to put the sweater on, and we're going to have fun with that. But yeah, that doesn't come with Prime. That is just in there. But you can see the stickers add a ton, because normally all of this is just white plastic. Out of the box, it's just this, like all of this, just all the way across. So the stickers are extremely important if you want to use the inside of the trailer for anything, for like a display or whatever. they did a lot of neat stuff with this. Like there are a lot of little Easter eggs and stuff along here. Like you've got the present conveyor belts in the machine, but then you've got other little details in here. And Easter eggs, like I said, little nods to things. And on this side too, got some more things going on. I'll give you a chance to look over some of that. And yeah, again, my eyes are not good enough to really focus on this stuff. Let me see if I can zoom the camera in to read some of these little Easter eggs. Yeah, even from this distance, I'm having trouble. Sorry, folks. But I do think it's fun how the Naughty and Nice list has some rather unexpected choices on there, or possibly expected, like Hot Rod is on the Naughty list. I know this because I was looking at the stickers under a magnifying glass. I'm not going to bust it out for this, but yeah, there's some fun stickers. And I also really like this kind of gift conveyor belt thing they've got going here. Makes it look like it's all coming down to the end of the trailer. Like this is basically Prime's version of the sleigh. There's some extra detailing stickers along here. And then there is the little maintenance drone thing that I'm actually going to pop off of its stand, or base rather, because as I said, this is just the Earthrise Prime trailer, so it's all the same stuff, just in white. But this is fun because the stickers, they add some much needed detailing, as you can see with like the windows and the red, because this again, all white. But what I think is really fun about this is you've got bells here, these little line details around here that look like antlers, and even a little red nose sticker. So they turned this little thing into it's like a little reindeer deco, and that is adorable. I love it. And it also thematically makes sense to have, you know, what is basically the sleigh with the little reindeer in it. And I love that. But enough of the trailer. Because as adorable as I think this is still not the main attraction. So let's just get the trailer out of the way. And before we move on to transformation, I just need to do the requisite stuff real quick. So I do have Patreon that if you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to. You don't have to, but if you want to support the channel, it would be much appreciated. I only have a single $1 tier. Gets you early access to new videos, and also, as I've said a couple of times now, will support the channel. If you want to support the channel in another way that's not monetary or watching, liking videos, that kind of thing, I do also have a link down in the description for the ShowZ Discord server. ShowZ is an overseas website based in China, I believe, that I've bought a lot of stuff from them over the years. They do a lot of third-party stuff. Some official stuff, but mostly third-party, KO, that kind of thing. And, you know, great customer service, great site, great selection, really nice prices, free shipping to the US on most things. So pretty cool place. If you want to check that out, you can use the link down below. And if you join the server, the Discord server, using that link, it gets me a little bit of basically store credit that I can use to go towards buying more stuff to make videos on in the future. Now, for the transformation, I really, really like the transformation on this guy. It goes places. Assuming none of you have seen it before, because, you know, this figure's been out for well over 6 months now. But first thing, gonna rotate this single smokestack off to the side. I'm gonna come to the side here, and these little gas canister sections here will actually unplug and hinge up from the side there. So just unplug those. Now, this section here will untab from the arm, so it swings up and untabs from the arm. I'm gonna bend the elbows to get the clearance to bring the arms out. And this is the problem where, like this arm, I had to either rotate it around like this, which wasn't quite adequate, or just let it sit even worse. So bring the arms out, and while the arms are out, we'll just do the fists now. And this is actually one thing that is similar to Legacy Prime and Velocitron's Scourge. You open up the forearm and flip out the fist like that. And it's a similar setup, but the molding is different. So If nothing else, new part. And these come down all the way and clip in here, and you actually get the in and out motion up here now. So just leave that like that for now, and we're going to do the lower body before everything else. So you do want to take this back panel and pull it out. I find it's generally easier to split the cab a little bit first, because that will loosen this up and make it a lot easier to push that out. So push that back, and we'll just leave that back for now. And we want to spread out what will obviously be the legs. And this I think is cool too, this little belt buckle piece that will flip up later. It actually has a dedicated spot to sit inside the cab. Like, the engineering on this thing is so clever. Anyway, with the legs spread, we now have enough room to pull this flap in. And with that flap pulled in, we can fold down the front of the grille, which will then give us the room we need to rotate this piece out. So you can see it was like this. Now we want to rotate it like that. And with that rotated out of the way, we can now rotate this whole cab section down, and this piece here will go into this little groove at the bottom of that strut. And that will help to keep the leg in place. And with that done, I want to push here, push this chunk up and out around the cab, and this becomes the foot. You want to unfold the toe and unfold the heel, and then just bend that back a bit more because we're going to need the space. I'm going to fold this in, and now it was like this for truck mode, but you actually want to fold it in all the way. And then this will go up and actually settle in here, like that. With that settled in place, I'm going to rotate this section back around. And you basically want to angle this piece so that when this comes back around, this little tab at the top settles into that spot. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit more and bring that in, and that will clip over this piece here, and that forms the shin. And then just push the foot forward again, and there we have a leg. That is a wild leg transformation. I love that. And same deal here. Fold all that out, fold that out, fold that around. Straighten this out. And I love how this gets repurposed. It goes around and up. You want to bend the knee because that'll give you more clearance to swing this around. And then bring that down, swing that in, clip it in. Oh, I went too fast. I completely forgot to get the foot out. You want to do that. He needs those. So flip out the toe, flip out the heel, and just curl it back to make sure there's enough room. Swing it in, swing that in, and bring that up. And there. Now he has legs. And now some more cool stuff happens. This entire section here hinges back, and the legs swing forward, and then this belt buckle piece that was so elegantly tucked inside this special groove on the sides of the cab flips up and around and completes the waist. Now this we're going to keep down for now. So there, we've got legs. Now for the upper body. We've got the arms in place already, so we're just going to swing those down. And I'm just going to, you don't have to move them out, but I'm moving them out just to get them out of the way. Now these pieces here, these little bits up here that are kind of like mud guards or whatever, they flip forward. And now this whole piece flips back, and these will tab onto mud flap things. And then these bits here that filled in the back of the cab fold in and give him his little tummy grill. And I think that's really cool. I like this transformation a lot. Can you tell? And last of it is you want to push this back to give you room to flip this up and around. And I'm going to use this opportunity to double check to see if going this way allows. Okay. So you do want to rotate the head 180 degrees. That's my bad. is with the head rotated 180 degrees, this flap actually sits flush with the back. So, my bad. Anyway, pop this up, swing this down, and this will also hinge up from the center. So that hinges up and back and down, and this piece hinges down and will tuck between the wheels here. And now this is cool too. This whole thing comes down, and this tab here will get the peg into this piece as it comes around. Not this piece. These tabs up here will tab in up here. And that locks the torso together. Then this comes in and pegs in up here. That locks the upper part of the torso together. And now it's like this really nice and solid locked together torso. And if you wanted to disconnect this piece, you could do that. And it actually gives you an ab crunch. And it's so cool. But for now, we're going to just lock that in. And rotate the head around. And there we have Holiday Optimus Prime ready to get holly and jolly on some Decepticons. And I love this figure. The transformation, as I said, is bonkers. It does not need to go as hard as it goes, but it goes hard. And it does some really cool stuff. And I love how it all comes together. I love the look of this thing. The articulation is actually really nice on this guy, which we'll get to. But like that transformation is so cool. I love and it's not just the legs. The legs do some really cool stuff, but the torso also does some really cool stuff. It's kind of all the way around. This figure just does really clever things. And it's the kind of thing where it's like, it's so good, I'm almost tempted to get the Volvo version. I'm not gonna, because I already have this. But like, it's really cool. It's really cool. And I love the aesthetic. I love that they took this idea and just got silly with it. And instead of big, serious G1 referential Transformers stuff like we always get, which, I appreciate the big, serious stuff. I'm still kind of sick of G1 referential things, but I've at least made peace with it now that we've started getting things that aren't just regurgitating G1 again. But I like that it's got a little bit of the G1 in it, especially like the chest and obviously the head and the arms, but like all the stuff in the legs, the back, it is very much not G1, and I really love that. And of course, they turned him into Santa Claus. That is so ridiculous. I love it. And the stickers do so much to enhance the look, because without them, it's still a really good looking figure. But you have, just like the boot section is black. And up here, I can't remember if these are actually just molded in or if they're yellow. I think they're just molded in, like the triangles and the lines. But like, all of it comes together to really push that Santa aesthetic, because you already had the red with like the white cuffs and the dark metallic blue, which we'll see more detail in a minute, and like the belt buckle thing and the boots and all that. Like, you already had that, but with the stickers now you get this really nice metallic shiny gold for details on the feet and the knees that really add the idea of these being like really dark black boots with shiny buckles on them, which is kind of a typical look for like the popularized version of Santa Claus. And then you've got the gold being continued into the forearms. And I love that the Reprolabels set replaces or covers up the regular Autobot logo, because he did just have a regular Autobot logo on one shoulder and not the other. I like that now you get these bits where you get the Autobot logo with these Santa hats, because that is too good. I can't believe they only did it on the trailer normally. So I love that they brought that in. And then of course you also get the snow-covered windows for the chest windows, which is just so good. And then you even get a little white faceplate cover with a mustache to really bring home the Santa beard aesthetic, and oh, it's so ridiculous and wonderful. I absolutely love it. This figure is great, but like the stickers really bring it home. And I love the colors. I love the proportions are really good too. Like, yeah, from the side, the legs are really baggy because the entire truck cab is back here, but like it doesn't bother me because the legs go through such a clever conversion, like the torso too. Like the transformation just does so much that this feels like it was actually very intentional and not, just a byproduct of them not knowing what to do with the truck bits. It's like there's so much going on in here that they totally could have done more with this if they wanted to, but they chose not to. And again, from the front, it looks totally fine. You don't even notice how far back those calves go. But yeah, like the color distribution is, I want to say, practically perfect. Really gets across that Santa suit out idea. And like, again, the stickers just set everything off. It is glorious. I love this, and I cannot believe I waited as long as I did to make a video on it, but I really wanted to get a proper figure with like the two proper arms and like get the Reprolabels for it. And real quick, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here, how the backs of the arms, there's this groove here that's offset to the outside on both of them. On one of them, the groove was pointing, I think it was this one, the groove was pointed this way. So it was this back on this side, and so it did not transform properly. So yeah, that's the thing you want to look out for. But, oh, it's so good. It is so good. Now, I mentioned that green plastic. This is the color the windows normally are. You can also kind of see the backside of the plastic for the windows in there. That heel out of the way, right in there. And I just think the snow-covered windows look better. And then also the chest, you pop this open, and you get the matrix chamber that's full of the green plastic that we saw, or that we don't see for the regular windows. You get the matrix, which is removable, but I'm not going to take it out because I just don't want to. And you get, is the matrix removable now that I'm thinking about it? That's going to bother me. I'm going to check. But in addition to the matrix, you also get the little present dispenser thing. Like he's got presents hiding in his chest, which is just very cute. Now let's see if we can remove. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe the matrix isn't. Okay, the matrix is totally removable. I was pretty sure, but I wanted to make sure because you all know me. If you do know me, I don't care about matrix stuff. So yeah, that comes out. He can't hold it. Moving on. Pop that back in place and close that back up. Actually, let's take a look at the head proper and see that it is a Optimus Prime head in this really dark metallic blue, which I actually think looks really nice. And normally I would be against this for an Optimus Prime because it just feels kind of random. But with the holiday aesthetic, the slightly more spangly look that everything has, and like this shiny gold that the stickers add, I think that really helps to go with this. And it makes it, I don't know, it makes it work. It makes it feel more ornate. And also you can see there's that Santa Claus beard and mustache look again. I don't remember if there were stickers for the eyes. Maybe there were and I put them on. It's really hard to tell. I think I did. I think I put stickers on the eyes because you can see there's like a light piping block back there, but yeah, it's it is really, I feel like that has to be because I don't think it'd be that reflective if it was the translucent plastic. But yeah, that's that. And it's typical Optimus Prime head, but I really like how the beard sticker kind of sets it off. And for articulation, the head's on a ball joint, so you get a little bit of tilt can look up and down a bit as well, and then of course can rotate 360 degrees. The arms, let me zoom out a little bit more here. The arms can rotate around 360 degrees, but this bit will bash into the wheel, so you'll either need to unplug this section to go around all the way or just not go around all the way. The outward motion is happening here. You can go out to 90 if you want. Can you disconnect? Nope, because the disconnecting goes down. So yeah, that's as far out as it goes. The bicep swivel, you get 90 degrees at the elbow. The fist is on a ball joint for the transformation, but you don't really get any wiggle that makes any kind of difference, but you do get wrist swivel because of it. You get a 360 degree waist rotation, and as I showed before, if you unplug the bottom of the torso just enough to get those tabs loose, that actually gives you a bit of an ab crunch, which I feel like isn't gonna do too much, especially because of the fact that the hips are separate, so like the pelvis isn't one piece, so really the only thing that you can see bending like this if you're looking at the belt buckle, but still, it's cool that this figure has a mostly functioning ab crunch if you unlock certain things. And the hips can go forward a little bit past 90 and back to 90. Can go out just ever so slightly under 90. Get 360 degrees of rotation. The thigh swivels going around are a bit snug, so I would advise if you're going to rotate them and they start to give you some resistance, rotate up here, not down here, because I could already feel like I don't think I damaged anything, but like if you grab here, it kind of twists this little black joint when things get stuck up there. So yeah, you want to grab it up here to rotate. And the knees can bend to 90. They cannot bend more because this joint actually goes this way. So you're not, even if you could loosen that up, it's going to bend forward, not back. And the feet, you can go back because of the transformation. Because of how everything sits, you're not going to get to go any further up than this. But you do get almost 90 degrees of ankle tilt. So the articulation on this guy is pretty okay. And he just looks cool. He's like a hardcore Santa. And we already looked at his coal blaster, but you can, let's see, can you peg it in back here? Kind of. Maybe you can kind of peg it in there. That's difficult to say because these pegs up here are a little bit like they're too small, and this peg is kind of covered. I guess if you move this out of the way, you can more easily get stuff in there. But yeah. And if you wanted to, you could peg the coal cannon into his shoulder or underslung on his arm if you want to do that. Or, of course, you can just put it in his hand, as one would, because it is a gun. You want him to aim that coal at all the naughty Decepticons and Hot Rod. Okay. There is all that. And if you want to, we can also bring back the trailer and open this up. And it's Earthrise, so you get the little shield thing. And as we already saw, you can totally yank the little drone thing off of there. And you can peg this in. It kind of, like, you can peg it into the shoulder if the shoulder is straight, but then, like, the wheels kind of get in the way, so, yeah. And unfortunately, you can't peg it in on the back because there's just not enough space. So if you want to peg this drone in, you're going to have to peg it into the arm. You could have it peeking over his shoulder if you want. Unpeg it here, I wonder? No, you cannot unpeg it there. Okay. And the shield, you can peg into the forearm if you want, but it's it's underslung, so yeah, that is a bit unfortunate. That if you wanted to armor him up, he doesn't have his peg holes in a location that's particularly useful most of the time. So I guess you could do this. Give him like an underslung drone arm and a shoulder shield or something. I don't know. It's something you could do, but he just doesn't have peg holes in places like the Earthrise mold did that made it a little bit easier to do things like give him, say, a big claw arm. But this, I don't know, this kind of works, right? I think that looks okay. I wouldn't want to mess with a Santa like that. And also, if you wanted to, you could bring in the trailer and just have them kind of like that with his little present dispensing repair bay thing. But I'm not really here for this. It's fine, and I think it looks great with the Reprolabels, but it's, as I've said, not really the point of the figure. The point of the figure is this, the core Optimus Prime. And bringing in the rest of our size comparisons again, you can already see that he's ever so slightly taller than a regular Voyager. So he's a little bit taller than Artfire, definitely taller than Rotor Storm, and definitely taller than Burnout. And also definitely taller than Samus, of course. But yeah, that's how big Holiday Optimus Prime is. He is, I want to say, maybe roughly half a head taller than a Voyager. And I guess that makes him roughly leader class in terms of just all of his size and engineering and whatnot. Oh, also, real quick, gonna mention the yellow lights up top there. I did not paint those; those came painted. So yeah, it's a. I think they did a pretty good job with this guy's deco, even without the stickers. But the stickers do definitely set it off, I think. And one more, as we showed her earlier. Here he is with Scourge, and they are roughly the same height, which is saying a lot because Scourge is like 80% leg. But yeah, it's interesting how the clearly bulkier truck doesn't end up being much taller than this. I mean, yeah, you've got the big bulky shoulders, but like he's got the big bulky legs. So I feel like, I don't know, it's just interesting. Like Scourge is great. I love the transformation on this figure, but this is a whole other level of engineering, in my mind at least, with like what the legs and the torso do. It's fantastic. Somebody get Reprolabels for her too. And finally, there is Holiday Prime with the duck tank. And that does it for, let me look up the full name here. I had it up on my screen and then the screensaver went on, so now I've got to double check it. This is Transformers Generations Holiday Optimus Prime. Okay, so it's not as fancy a name as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, this guy is really cool. I love this mold. And while I think the Volvo one does look really good, I think they did a good job with that based on like the images and stuff. I'm assuming it's going to be painted like they're showing it. It's a cool figure on its own like that, but personally, this is the version for me because it goes interesting places. It's not just, here's a cool Optimus Prime. It's, here's a really cool, really well done Optimus Prime figure that's also kind of silly and is not afraid to be silly. And I both respect that and also I kind of have a soft spot for things that are both cool and silly. That's why Trigon is one of my favorite animes. But yeah, it's a great figure. If you're on the fence about this thing, I'd say get it. Especially if you can find one that you know for a fact does not have the arm problem. Because that's an issue that a lot of people have been running into. But I'd say it's well worth the cost. And if you already have this figure, I highly recommend the Reprolabels because they really set the whole thing off. Like, I was initially planning on hanging on to this guy just as like a holiday thing, like, you know, kind of keep him on the shelf, but whatever, but like really only have him because then, you know, around November, December, I can really prominently display him. But it's just a really cool figure on its own. Anyway, I've been rambling for so long. This video is almost an hour long at this point, so I'm going to stop. So that is going to do it for Holiday Optimus Prime. What do you all think of this guy, or the Reprolabels? Whatever your thoughts, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. Thank you everybody for watching, and maybe someday I'll figure out an outro, but in the meantime, just look at this. This is great. It's so silly and so awesome. You should get one.